Verma sir.
Pleasure meeting you.
Jai Shriman! Shriman! Vivek Kolana ka स्वागत है श्रीमान! Jai Shriman!
Good to see you on a Sunday.
My faculty members.
Morning.
The guests have already arrived. NCT cadets are giving a salute. Welcome. And Vidyalaya. Being escorted by our principal madam, our vice president sir, vice president sir, secretary of Vivek Education Society, and the members of the governing council.
ये सिलाई कट कर रहा है बस
I went through the magazine. Okay. Gary. I'm originally from Chengalpet.
Oh, lovely.
From Chengalpet, Chennai, Chengalpet. College படிச்சதுல மாஸ்டர்ஸ் படிச்சது பாண்டிச்சேரி யூனிவர்சிட்டி. So the last
Like it's a multidisciplinary to the extent that we have BSc IT, mass media,
teachers, and my dear students, we are currently witnessing the arrival of our chief guest, Shri S. Jayakumar, Joint Commissioner of Police Administration, Mumbai City, and our guest of honor, Shri Radhakrishnan. They have been received by the President of Vivek Education Society, Shri Ramsar, and Vice President of Vivek Education Society, Shri Ramchandra, joined by the Governing Council members, Principal Dr. Vidyalaya, Dr. Suresh Nair sir, and Principal Shija Menon of Vivek Vidyalaya and Junior College. The esteemed guests, marching towards the statue of Swami Vivekananda, are being escorted by the NSS cadets. Today we mark the 163rd birth anniversary of our patron leader, Swami Vivekananda. To commemorate the birth anniversary and to celebrate the National Youth Day. As a mark of respect and reverence, floral tribute is being offered to Swami Vivekananda. The theme for National Youth Day 2025 is steering India towards a sustainable future. As our dignitaries walk the aisle, I request everyone to kindly rise as we welcome our chief guest, Shri S. Jayakumar, Joint Commissioner of Police Administration, Mumbai City, and our guest of honor, Shri Radhakrishnan. We have been received by the President of Vivek Education Society, Shri Ramsar, Vice President of Vivek Education Society, joined by members of the Governing Council, Principal Dr. Vidyalaya, and Principal of Shija Menon, Vivek Vidyalaya, Junior College.
To commence this graceful occasion, we honor the age-old tradition of lighting the lamp, a beautiful symbol of a victory of light over darkness, wisdom over ignorance, and truth over falsehood. In reverence to our culture, I now invite all the distinguished dignitaries to light the lamp, followed by a prayer song, and I request Bindu ma'am to assist the dignitaries in this moment of grace.
Jayakumar
request our principal, Dr. Vijayata Shetty, to escort our chief guest, the keynote speaker, and the guest of honor on the dais. I request all the esteemed guests, invited guests, teachers, and my dear students to kindly be seated. We, Nisha Pillai and Maria Muthukumar, chief guest and keynote speaker, Shri S. Jayakumar sir, Joint Commissioner of Police Administration, Mumbai City, our guest of honor, Shri Radhakrishnan sir and his family, President of Vivek Education Society, Shri Ram sir, Vice President of Vivek Education Society, Shri Ramchandran sir, Secretary of Vivek Education Society, Shri Sashi Verma sir, our Principal, Dr. Vijayata Shetty, Ramesh Iyer sir, Shri Vijay Rathod, Shri Paresh Seth, Dr. Narayan Iyer and Swati Madam, Dr. Inamdar, Dr. Ram Kumar Murthy, members from Vivekananda Kendra, esteemed principals, vice principals of various colleges and schools across Mumbai, representatives from various NGOs, our alumni, NSS program officers from neighboring colleges, members of sister institutions, our academic and non-academic partners, special guests, members of the governing council, students and all members of Vivek family to witness the 6th annual Srimati A.A. Saraswathy Memorial Lecture, our flagship program instituted in the memory of Srimati A.A. Saraswathy, beloved mother-in-law of Honorable Justice Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, with a profound sense of reverence and solemnity. Welcome you all. May I now invite the President of Vivek Education Society, Shri S. Sriram sir, to deliver his welcome note about the Srimati A.A. Saraswathy Memorial Lecture.
Respected chief guest for today's function, Shri Jayakumar sir, Principal of Vivek College, Mrs. Dr. Vijayata Shetty, distinguished guests who are come specially for this function, students, teaching staff and non-teaching staff of Vivek College, and it's really my honor and privilege to welcome you all for the A.A. Saraswathy Memorial Lecture today. To give you a brief background about this lecture, we have been having this for the last 5 years. Since 2019, when our first lecture was held and where Dr. Justice B.N. Sri Krishna gave a talk on data, its importance to the country and its protection. That is when the data protection laws were still in the making. Today, our legislators have more or less ready with the data protection laws, and they're going to introduce it as a bill in the parliament, and hopefully it will become an act soon. Then we had Dr. Radhakrishnan, the former chairman of ISRO. We had Sister Shivani who talked about the role of spirituality in today's world. We had Dr. Mailswamy Annadurai, who talked about how he grew from an humble beginning to become the moon man of India, and he was instrumental in Chandrayaan-1. Last year we had Shivanandan sir, former DGP, retired DGP of Maharashtra, who spoke about data security, cyber security, and this year we are fortunate to have Shri Jayakumar sir going to talk about empowering youth in promoting gender equality. Empowering youth Crusaders in building a gender-equitable society. So that's the topic for today. To give you a brief background about Mrs. A. Saraswathy, in whose memory this lecture has been instituted. It's truly an inspiring story about this person. She was born in Kerala, and at a very young age, when she was just 3 years old, she lost her father. From that beginning, she was trained in Carnatic music under the tutelage of the renowned Carnatic vocalist Sri Chembai Vaidyanatha Bhagavathar. She could not pursue her hobbies due to financial condition of her family. She then got married to Mr. Subramaniam and moved to Mumbai in the year 1949. Hardly 14 years in her marriage, she lost her husband to cancer. Her life was shattered as she was left with her 3 children, aged 10, 8 and 2 years. She was not a person who would succumb to such calamities in life. She joined a government diploma course in tailoring and passed with flying colors. She earned a living by stitching clothes and brought her 3 children who are now well settled in their own lives. This is truly an inspiring story. She knew how to face odds and move forward with the time. Her daughter, Srimati Rajalakshmi, is wife of Justice Radhakrishnan, and Justice Radhakrishnan and Rajalakshmi have instituted this memorial lecture in her memory, and what a person in whose memory this lecture is instituted. We are really fortunate that we can take inspiration from such personalities who come from a humble beginning and have achieved something in life. So that is the background about our A. Saraswathy lecture. Now coming to today's topic, it's a very, very pertinent topic of today, which we talk of gender equality. It's a topic which everyone is now talking about. Few are implementing it in some way or the other. I won't say we are reached the goal as yet in attaining a proper gender equality. In the last election data which came out, in terms of number of voters, the percentage of men and percentage of women, the gap has really reduced. It is, if you look at the men and women now constitute nearly 48% of the voters, which means that the gender gap has reduced. If we live with our age-old tradition of how we treat the genders, we will be depriving nearly 50% of the population of the opportunities which exist. So when we talk of gender equality is a process of being fair to women and men and the other genders, the transgenders. So I would keep it as all genders to be fair to all genders. To ensure fairness, strategies and measures must often be available to compensate for women's historical and social disadvantages that prevent women from operating in a level playing field. Inequality and discrimination against women and girls remain amongst the greatest injustices of our times. A world where women exercise their voice and build a better society and stronger nation, where they access opportunities equally, have decent work and equal workspace. A world where all women live free from violence. Typically, if you look at gender equality, they broadly come in two parts. One is the atrocities which are committed against women, and second is the opportunities which we give to all genders equally. When we look at the recent incidents in Badlapur, in Kolkata, the RG car case, or recently in Chennai, these are examples of atrocities on women and children. Why is this happening? These can be stopped only if there is a social awakening and there is an awakening amongst the youth of today. You are all youths of today, and unless or until there is an awakening amongst you and you guard against these social evils, that such atrocities can be prevented. So that is why today's topic is important. It is that awakening, awareness amongst you which is important. The second, of course, is that in today's world, when we get into a lot of these atrocities are also related, are coming out of what you call as matrimonial disputes, right? Today, earlier days were the days where you had arranged marriage, where the father and parents used to look for brides and grooms for their own siblings, for their own children, and try and look for suitable partners based on their own social and economic background. Today it's different. I am not saying that if you look for your own partner, if you select your own partner, it's wrong. In today's world it's good. No harm. But when you look for your partners, look for the character of the person in the other person. Whether it is a boy or a girl, look for the character. Don't look at the car or the bungalow which he owns. Look for their character, look for their social and family upbringing. This is what we should do. right? And of course, when it comes to giving equal opportunities for all genders, I'm not singling out women or transgenders or men, all genders, we have to treat them equally. The two aspects are there. One is the government is making a lot of efforts, whether it is Beti Padhao Yojana, whether it is giving equal representation to women. Today women are in the services, they take up commissioned ranks in the army, they are in the police force, they come up to top levels. In fact, our DGP today is a lady in Maharashtra, right? So they are capable and to reach and handle these tough positions. So we have to give them the space. And even if you look at our own college, more than 50% of our students are girls. So that speaks volumes about how girls are coming out of their cocoon, from their shell, and to take up education, to take up newer responsibilities. So government is playing its own initiative, but at the same time, we as youth, we as society have to look at everyone equally. So this is very important. Only if we do this, that we will be able to create a gender-equitable society. I don't want to stand longer in front of you. We have a very eminent speaker who is going to talk about all the initiatives, and I really do not know what is. These are my little thoughts which I thought I should share with you about gender equality, gender equity, which came to me, but definitely we will hear much more from our chief guest. So with this, I welcome you once again for coming today, and this being a Sunday, we really appreciate your presence here and look forward to hearing from you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for that brief welcome note address. As sir rightly said, education is a transmission of knowledge, skills, and character traits to manifest in various forms. And that's why we are blessed with our management and our principal organizing this memorial lecture, so that we, as youth of today, be empowered to build a better future. May I now invite our principal, Dr. Vijayata Shetty Madam, to introduce our chief guest and guest of honor to the gathering.
Thank you, Professor Maria. Namaskar and a good morning. Dignitaries sitting on the dais, dignitaries of the dais, my team at Vivek and my dear Vivians, greetings to all of you on the occasion of National Youth Day commemorating the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. It's indeed my privilege and an honor for introducing the chief guest and the keynote speakers for today's 6th annual Srimati A.A. Saraswathy Memorial Lecture. A scholar of distinction, Shri Jayakumar sir, who is a chief guest and the keynote speaker, began his academic journey at Loyola College, Chennai, and was a recipient of the prestigious Japanese Sumitomo Fellowship and multiple accolades for his outstanding achievements. He went on to pursue a postgraduate degree in history at Pondicherry Central University, where he graduated with a gold medal. His commitment to academic and professional excellence was further cemented when he cleared the National Eligibility Test and was awarded with Junior Research Fellowship by the University Grants Commission. In 2004, he cleared his UPSC Civil Services examination and joined the IPS. Shri Jayakumar sir has begun his career as an Assistant Superintendent of Police, Kolhapur, and has served various pivotal roles, including leadership positions in some of Maharashtra's most challenging and dynamic regions. From managing communal tensions in Malegaon, soon after the Malegaon blast during the critical period, to combating the Naxal violence as a superintendent of police in Gadchiroli, his strategic acumen and unwavering resolve has safeguarded lives of many and strengthened public trust. His exemplary leadership was evident during the challenging scenario where he braved the boycott of election, which was called by the left-wing extremists, and successfully conducted the Lok Sabha and the Vidhan Sabha election in 2009-10 in the very Naxal-affected areas. And for this, the Election Commission had confirmed on him the prestigious Diamond Jubilee Award. On the promotion to the rank of DIG, Deputy Inspector General of Police, he worked as the additional CP in Mumbai city and handled some sensational cases and challenging public order situations. As a leader committed to youth development, Shri Jayakumar sir has been a forefront of initiatives that inspires resilience, discipline and civic responsibilities. From overseeing large-scale police recruitments, including over 6 lakhs aspirants to create systems that empower communities, his work reflects a deep commitment to nurturing the potential of Indian youth. His ability to connect with the young minds, inspire action, and instill confidence makes him an exceptional role model. Currently serving as a Joint Commissioner of Police Administration in Mumbai, he manages one of the India's largest internal security forces, comprising 2.3 lakh personnel with visionary leadership and strategic excellence. His contribution to the public service has been recognized with several honors, including the Internal Security Medal and the DG Insignia. But the most prestigious honor has been the Police Medal for the meritorious service awarded by the President of India on 26th of January 2023. Shri Jayakumar sir's life and career reflects the ideals of Swami Vivekananda, dedicated to service, a commitment to self-improvement, and unwavering focus on empowering the nation's youth. His inspirational journey makes him an ideal keynote speaker for our 12th annual memorial lecture. And with his insight and experience, I'm sure he will inspire and motivate all the younger generation who is sitting here and also watching us on YouTube to embrace leadership, resilience, and a sense of purpose in building a better and a stronger India. Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of the entire Vivek family, we humbly thank you for accepting this honor. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I also welcome our guest of honor for today, Shri Radhakrishnan Iyer, for this annual memorial lecture. Sir is the son of Srimati A.A. Saraswathy, on whose name this lecture we are conducting. Thank you so much, sir, for honoring our words.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful introduction about our keynote speaker and our guest of honor. As Madam rightly said, Sir's traits, character resembles the great Swami Vivekananda. On a lighter note, on a great visionary leader, as you can see him, his personality, his trait reflects the great Subhash Chandra Bose, sir. So with all respect and reverence to you, sir. May I now request our President, Shri Ram sir, our Vice President, Ramchandran sir, our Secretary, Sri Shashi Verma sir, along with our Principal, to felicitate our Chief Guest and Keynote Speaker, Shri S. Jayakumar sir, Joint Commissioner of Police. I would like to read the citation. Vivek College of Commerce, 6th Annual Srimati A.A. Saraswathy Memorial Lecture, Citation presented to Shri S. Jayakumar, sir, Joint Commissioner of Police, Administration, Mumbai City, in recognition of your exemplary leadership, unwavering dedication, and distinguished service to law enforcement and the community. Your commitment to justice, integrity, and public safety inspires us all. With sincere gratitude and best wishes from Vivek family. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly put your hands together as we felicitate our chief guest and our keynote speaker, Shri S. Jayakumar, sir. May I now request Sir and Madam to felicitate our guest of honor, Shri Radhakrishnan Iyer, sir. Our President, sir, along with our Vice President and our Secretary, Sashi Verma, sir, and our Principal, to kindly honor and welcome our guest of honor, Shri Radhakrishnan Iyer, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We are indeed indebted to your family for this memorial lecture. Thank you so much. Esteemed guests and my dear students, it's time to listen to our chief guest and our keynote speaker, Shri S. Jayakumar, sir, who is going to address us today on empowering youth, Crusaders in building a gender-equitable society.
Hello ma'am, how are you? Thank you ma'am. Respected Shri Sriram, President Vivek Education Society, Vice President, Secretary, Governing Council members of Vivek Education Society, Dr. Vijeta Shetty, Principal, teachers, invitees, Shri Ramesh Iyer, my dear friend, who introduced this institute to me. I don't know whether I should address you as children or students. So anyhow, I love to address you as the youth, the builders of our nation. I extend my warm greetings of National Youth Day, an apt day to show how youth are responsible. On a Sunday, you all have come in large numbers to commemorate this occasion. My appreciation to Shri Radhakrishnan here for commemorating this Saraswathy Ammal Foundation, in whose memory today's guest lecture has been planned. Vidyadanam Sarvadanat Pradhanam. The motto of this Vivek Education Society is inspiring. The college offers a formal way of education, but this sort of interaction is also a type of education where each and every person has something to carry home. It's an education for me, it's an education for you. The topic which has been planned is just an avenue to facilitate this interaction. I congratulate the management as well as all the staff of the Vivek College of Commerce. I read in your magazine Drishti that you are starting from zero and aspiring for infinity. And this is the rightful time. I read that the University of Mumbai has conferred an autonomous status to your college. One of the oldest university of the country has recognized the administration of this college, that you are capable enough to devise your own curriculum, to devise your own exam pattern, and they are ready to abide by a decision and award degree for all the children, for all the students passing out of this college, which is an achievement in itself. I graduated from one of the oldest colleges of the country and one of the pioneers of autonomy in the country. I still have pride in saying it as my college, Loyola College. I was the 19th batch of autonomy way back in '96. The college was given autonomy on the year I was born. So that is their standard. They have already completed 46 years of autonomy. So autonomy truly matters because the government institutions cannot have an uniform education pattern. They have to bridge lots of differences. But being in Mumbai and a college of this repute is capable of handling in itself, which is a worthy credit. The second thing is you have already been, your performance has to you, and my wishes to you that you maintain the standards and grow greater heights. So let me begin this. It's empowering the youth. Crusader in building a gender-equitable society. Mr. Shri has taken lots of initiatives. I have collected last 3-4 days. So I won't be repeating it. I understand that you will know what I'm going to speak about. So I'll be covering what is much remaining. I know all the jargon, those are not my creation. I managed to create it. Maybe I like to explain the simple language because this memory lecture I have been so this is a great job. Just to make it interactive so that you are more basically something that you can focus on the screen. So these are the topics I am covering. What those initiatives are where India stands in what measures are taken by our government to ensure how you can contribute to bring about gender equality. So the explanation of gender equality is equal access to resources and opportunities without any gender discrimination. Everybody should have equal access to equal participation and decision making. Women, UNICEF, the United Nations governing agencies responsible for child education. They have defined what gender equality means. In a simple language, they say that women and girls resources, opportunities, protection. United Nations has laid down some goals. They have laid some 17 sustainable goals. Gender equality comes fifth. So in the subsequent slides, you will sustainable development goal 5, which represents equality. Gender equality is a broader target. How we are going to achieve gender equality? We have all ways to achieve gender equality. There are some jargons referred as gender equality, gender equity, gender neutrality. The few practices which can be clubbed into these terms that will help in achieving the final goal. It is believed, and in fact it is true to a major extent, how quite a few of the countries have achieved a major part of gender equality by avoiding certain harmful practices, by stopping certain harmful practices. Even we, our country, has attained certain level of gender equality by forcefully stopping these practices, which can be human trafficking, femicide, domestic violence, sex, abortion, female influence. This is a chart. I was impressed. I was thinking that this can address how this gender equality concept is captured in the international forum. There is an index referred as Gender Inequality Index, GII. They have different dimensions, indicators. By virtue of these dimensions and indicators, we come across certain indices which combines to give a gender inequality index. Health, empowerment, labor market, these are the major dimensions. By virtue of it, the gender standards can be evaluated. In the case of health, the two important indicators are maternal mortality and adolescent mortality. Maternal mortality is one of the index that is attributed to women especially during childbirth. Due to absence of health care, the mortality is very high, which is exclusive to the fairer sex. So this is one of the indexes. The adolescent mortality. Many women are prone to anemic conditions. If proper care is not taken, this anemic condition can be life-threatening. This is one of the major index across the global level is used to calculate the gender status. Empowerment. How many women are having access to education and finally employment? Female and male population with at least secondary level of education. The next index in empowerment is their access to political administration. It is not political rights. In India is one of the first countries where without any much of fuss, we have enforced universal adult suffrage, by virtue of which all of us are voting. The developed countries whom we are attracted or looking at whom we raise the eyebrows, they achieved this after lots of struggle. US, they got about women adult suffrage after lots of fight. Even before they had voting rights for their women, women in India had voting rights. We read in history the role of women in Sabha and Samiti. Women were leading the shows there and they had a dominant role to play. This is one of the dimensions of empowerment. The last one is the labor market, the female and male labor force and the participation in the economy. These are the dimensions by virtue of which we arrive at numbers, and finally these numbers all summed up together, they finally give the gender inequality index. Just for curiosity or just to convey to you, there are close to 193 countries which the UN has evaluated, and they have been ranking, they have been bringing out these indices every 10 years. So in the first decade of the 21st century, we were somewhere 122nd. This is being gender inequality. The first country which tops is considered to be the most unequal country. The last country is supposed to be the most equal country. It is between the scale of 0 to 1. So the country which has 1 plus would be the topper, and the country which is 0, where the inequality is minimal, that would be the lowest. So all these years, no doubt the European countries have been dominating. This is how the map looks. So the colors represent, the greener you enforce equality, the unequal standards are very less. The red you are, the inequality is more. So the map speaks for itself, and it also shows where we stand. A lighter red color between 0, somewhere around 0.4, that is our standard, Indian standard. But in the last 10 years, we have managed to improve our levels by 13 positions. So though we are slow, there is some sort of improvement. So we have to discuss how greener we should become, how to reduce the red color in us. Maybe compared to our neighbors, we are better off, but we should not be contented only with our neighbors. We should aspire for more. So we should compete with the greener sides. Next. There is another index called as gender gap between the male and female based on the access to the resources. So the global gender gap index, when the entire world is put together, our index is 68.5. This is little different from the previous index. 100% is complete. There is no inequality. The smaller the number is, the inequality is more. The global gender index of the world is 68.5%. So we have another 32 to 31.5% to achieve, that universally we have no discrimination existing. So global gender index utilizes this economic participation, education attainment, health and survival, political empowerment. See, when education and health, the global index stands at 94.9 and 96%. We have marked improvement, much above the global index. Economic participation, the participation of women in economy, in the work, it's 60.5. We are lesser than the global index. So we have scope for improvement. And the worst is the political empowerment. The political empowerment in the green zone is much higher. In the green zone you have lots of women participating. But in the red zone, the participation of women in political administration is much less. That's why our numbers are down. So I showed you the map where all we are standing, and it's not, I need not specify by name which are the countries that are red and which are the countries that are green. Next slide. So this is how the ranking is, the global gender gap. The top countries which have minimized the gap are mostly the European countries. The top 7 positions are held by the European countries, and plus you find the countries from the Americas, then you find Australia and New Zealand. All these people are participating, and where we stand, the present status 105, that's India's ranking in this global gender gap. And no country has achieved this 100% index. The topper, Iceland, then and now Norway is somewhere around 94%. They have not, none of them have achieved 100% yet. Next slide. These are the initiatives that are being taken at the global level to reduce or bring about gender equality. I will keep on interchange inequality and equality. If I confuse it, please take it properly. Inequality and equality may be changing here and there. So to reduce gender inequality, the agencies that are working, UN is the lead agency that is working at the global level. Lots of research needs to happen. When I was going through for preparing this topic, even my ideas and my thought process were awakened, which I did not focus much. So these are the things which we are missing. I will narrate it during the course of this presentation. As I told you before, the Sustainable Development Goal 5 is the UN Sustainable Development Goal 5 that speaks about gender equality. The UN has taken gender equality as an important target, and they have been advocating lots of ideas, rolling out concepts, which many countries as signatory to different convention are following it up. One such is the gender equity laws. Whatever laws that has been brought out in our own country, the anti-dowry, the female foeticide, test against gender discrimination, against fetus testing, all these things are in line with the laws which the UN has been asking their signatories to enact in the countries. So that's how UN takes the lead, and it asks all the countries to follow and implement. International campaigns and programs, the various programs to give women equal access, various programs that the UN devises so that all the nations follow and open the thought process amongst its members. These are the international campaigns and programs. The last one is a global partnership for gender equality. As we said, if the entire world has to achieve 100% conformity to this gender equality, each and every nation should contribute. We are the most populous nation in the planet, and if our numbers, a small index, 1%, 2% here, would make a huge difference in the numbers. We are talking about the 14 crore population of the entire world. So 14 crore population, the distribution of population is male, female, the other third gender. It should be almost 48, less than 1% would be the other gender. But if we not arm our 48% of the population, if we don't arm or if we don't think about a proper plan for strengthening our half of the population, the index would come down a lot. That's why we are focusing on strengthening our women. There are this global partnership with gender equality, there are some interesting aspects. The GPE concept, it mobilizes financing and partnership to help partner countries to improve equity, gender, equality and inclusion of women in education. There is a concept called as the Girls Education Accelerator, which provides additional funding to speed up progress and dismantle barriers to school going girls. Next slide. From the world level, I'm shrinking ourselves to the Indian scenario, the major issues which we are facing in our country. Sexual harassment and violence. As per the records of National Crime Bureau, in 2020, that the last compiled data, we have 88,000 of cases against women. This is only those that have been reported. And of which, of this 88,000 cases, 32% are mostly sexual assault. The next index, the next problem which you are facing in India is unequal access to education. I was impressed when your principal as well as the president of your Vivek Education Society said the girl children or the women, the girls are more enrolled in this college than the boys. It is heartening to hear. This enrollment should not end up only with a matrimonial degree. This enrollment should find way somewhere. Just a degree and then the next level marriage, that's the usual way how our people carry the life in India. So we have to grow beyond a matrimonial degree. So it is heartening to see the number of women having access to education. This access to education should also find its way into workforce. I'll get into those things, how we should create a conducive atmosphere so that this empowerment in education also finds its way into economics. Though we are proud about access to education, this access to education numbers are also different. 70.3% of women have access to education compared to 85% of men who have access to education. Still we are 10% different. We are aspiring for 100% for both, but the scope for women are more. The next is invisible labor. Invisible labor, the percentage of women contributing to invisible labor is much more. Invisible labor, which is mostly unorganized. At home we see, I've seen my mother, how she carries out the day from morning to evening. That's the case with all the families, except for certain families where we have a working mother. So this is the invisible labor, starting from the morning, the child care, the care to the elderly, the household chores, be it cooking, be it washing, be it cleaning, be it organizing. These are not converted into economics. If these are converted to economics, maybe they would overtake even the male member of the family who are considered to be the main economic contributor for running the family. This is the invisible labor we are talking about. This invisible labor is almost 3 times higher than the male labor. The amount of work women do is 3 times more than that of women. And this is a huge, since it is not converted into economics, we don't take this criteria into calculation. The next one is the gender wage gap. For the same work that is performed by men and women, the returns given is comparatively less. The women for the same job is earning less. This is a concept that has been highlighted. India faces a notable gender wage gap, with women earning 19% less than the same work done by men. This is the data that has been captured in the World Economics Forum Global Gender Gap Report of 2021. And this gap is seen, it's markedly seen in rural areas. Compared to the urban areas, the gender gap or the gender wage gap is much more in rural areas. Next slide. How this is one of the impressive index I managed to pick up, the work and home divided among the gender lines in India. see the first one, the socializing, community participation and religion, it's almost the same. Men is 91.4% and women is 91.3%. Culture, sport, leisure and media, it's slightly different for men. Men are 88% and women are 85%. Employment, we have marked difference where men are 57.3% and women are 18.4%. Domestic work, the gender gap which I was talking about in the previous slide, the invisible labor which I was talking about, this is here. For the same work, men are 26.1, which is captured, whereas domestic work, women contribute 81%, which goes as invisible labor. It's because of this differences, the gender gap is huge. The caregiving, again, men contribute for 14% of the work that can be clubbed as caregiving, and women contribute 27.6. And learning, it's small for both, but still it's on the higher side for the men. Next slide. So these are the gender discrimination that's happening, that's belittling women. Catcalling, sexual harassment, which we see, this is mostly seen in places where women are portrayed as objects, the objects of pleasure. So the first caricature at the top corner, that is catcalling, when men have pleasure in hooting the moment they see the girl. This is just for fun, but still it speaks volumes about the safe atmosphere we are creating for women. This threat that the girl who goes out, steps out of the house is not safe. She is put to some sort of misery, some sort of humiliation is what deters the parents to send the girl out. This, each and every individual should ensure the pleasure, their acts of pleasure creates a deep scar in the minds of the fairer sex, deep threat in the minds of the parents of the fairer sex. This we should be really bothered about. Next, stereotyping men and women at school. I want to attract your attention, if it is visible, the pink and the blue one, where it is generally said women are suited for particular nature of jobs and women are suited for particular nature of jobs. If it is visible, you know how the stereotyping is done. Girls should stay at home, help with the housework, they should focus on childcare, they should dress modestly, and they should think about how they would interact with the men of the people of opposite sex. They should not stay out, they should not move out late in the night. These are the general stereotypic thought process that goes in the human minds. Plus, what men are suited for. Men are suited for some occupations which includes force. Men are suited for any occupation related to wildlife, sports that think about the use of strength. And the men are good in games, and men are good in mechanical work, so on and so forth. Women, what are they good at? They are good at cookery. Women are good for being a doctor. Women are good for gardening. Women are good for such games where there is no use of strength. These are the general thought processes which we should avoid. This sort of stereotypism is what we should avoid, which the youth should avoid, which as youth you should take this to the discussions within the family. Within the family, when you have a sister at home, when you have a relative at home, when these sort of stereotypism are being enforced on them by the members of the household, you should participate, you should say there is no distinction. With more and more of mechanization, there is no work that deter a woman from doing it. Women can operate fighter crafts. Women can operate the worst of the say energy resources. You have scientists. So you have had people from ISRO addressing you in the past. I'll show you in the subsequent photographs how we have had successful groups in ISRO that have successfully executed Mangalyaan, so on and so forth. The last one, the prejudice overflow in school and work. The prejudices that women are suited for particular nature of job, men are suited for different nature of job. It starts with the school and subsequently it goes to the workplace. I am impressed to see lots of staff, women staff in the college. But women staff in the college, after reaching this level, they should see to it that they nurture the girl children. They should nurture the girl children to study more, to occupy chair that contributes to the development of the society, the development of the country. And the last caricature, women have dual responsibility. Women work as well as they tend the family. Men, we only work. I have tried to correct myself. I forced my wife to join me today. My wife has done her doctorate in gender studies. Some reason she is not working. I forced her to come today, but she said no, she will not come. Dr. Amartya Sen has identified some types of gender inequality that is prevailing in the country. These, quite a few are understandable. Mortality inequality, which we already touched while discussing about the indices. Natality inequality, which we touched. Employment inequality, which is clear. Ownership inequality, right to access to properties. I'll speak about special opportunity inequality. We were talking about equality of men and women. By biological standards, women have to be treated with care. But this should not be the condition to deter that women should not participate. Yes, they need some affirmative action, a positive support, because the biological framework. Still we can be accommodative. I would like to attract your attention to the concept of in our force, in police force, we have 30% women. For the last 20 years in the police recruitment, especially in the lower ranks, we enforce 30% of reservation for women. It's the same exam process, but the physical conditions are separately determined for a woman, but the written examination the same. Of the total allotment, 30% are reserved for women. So once the women come, they are selected into the police force. They get into the household of marriage and childbirth, child care. So for the last 8-10 years, it has been brought out that women will have a period of 2 years, 8 months pregnancy leave, and subsequently another 14 months, another 16 months for child care. Total put together 2 years, 24 months child care leave. This is common. So it's not my decision, ma'am, it's the government's decision. So what I want to reiterate is, we need to have some sort of affirmative action. We should not go by the concept a woman is out of work for 2 years. This is a paid holiday. The woman gets all her pay is intact for this 2 years period, which the government is enforcing. So this sort of affirmative action at different levels are needed. These are the special opportunities which the government creates. But there is a different thought process. There is a break in continuity. How to organize it? The 2 years period which the government can afford to. But for a woman to give her 100% towards work is still more. Having a 1 year, 1.5 year old child, nursing mother can't work 8 hours in the office. In pursuit of it, we have gone for the concept of creche, having creche at workplaces, having Hirkani Kaksh. Hirkani Kaksh, the government of Maharashtra came with a scheme where they will have space so that the mother can nurse her child at frequent intervals.
So these are the certain things, the special opportunity, and these special opportunities are not found everywhere. Though we have the policy, there are certain institutions which don't implement these policies for different reasons. This special opportunity, what I'll read, the Indian government allocates 49.5% of seats in education and employment to backward classes, scheduled castes and tribes. This is not exclusively for the women. Under the reservations, you have different categories. I don't get 100% of my reserved seats filled up. The 30% reservation, what I'm talking about, I don't get all the women appearing. There are large number of seats in certain categories that goes unoccupied. So we need to have women from all categories to participate and work and contribute towards this workforce. The next is the fundamental facility inequality. In the name of honor, reputation, we prevent women from having access to certain fields. This is not the honor in the family. We don't want our daughter to wearing trousers and go to work. I'm not speaking about the thought process which is prevalent in the urban area, but in the rural area. Rural area, sort of dressing which is thought about the family. The family believes if the girl goes out of the house, goes for a work amidst men, this brings disrepute to the family. These are the thought processes where we need to break, which we need to break. The last one is the household inequality. In the same house, a boy and a girl, the son and the daughter are not treated on the same lines. The parents sometimes feel the boy needs lots of energy, he works hard, so his diet should be different. The girl doesn't do much, so her diet pattern should be different. These sort of inequality is what we talk about, household inequality. Next. What are the challenges in achieving this inequality? The first is the societal resistance. India has traditionally been patriarchal, except for some parts of northeast and major part of Kerala, which has remained matriarchal, where we follow matrilineal way of succession of property also. But being patriarchal, this has been the thought process in the society that we feel that men should have an upper hand. Many a times even the mother feels so. So we need to bring about a change. Not only the male gender feels so, there are many a times even the female gender who manage a family, they feel that the men should have an upper hand, which is wrong. We should work on bringing about a change in this thought process. There are 29% of Indian women who are facing restriction in participating in household decisions, which has changed a lot in many of the houses, but still the change we see is only in the urban areas, not in the rural areas. Still India has at least 60% of rural population, so it is necessary that we bring about a change in this thought process. Insufficient funding. So with the minimal resources available in the family, it is always the major part of the resources is given to the progress of the male child. The female progress is always considered secondary. I have an example. Some days before, a Muslim father who is running his business, not maybe a middle class father only, he was extremely eager to put his daughter into medical education. The girl tried. The girl gave her NEET, but she did not perform well. So she couldn't get an MBBS degree on merit. He came to me, said, "Nahi sir, kaise bhi mujhe, I want to buy I want to take a payment seat for my daughter, MBBS seat." So you know the numbers, how costly it is. When the numbers were shown to him, sir, ये तो tough है मेरे लिए, I can't, इतना मैं खर्चा नहीं कर सकते, डोनेशन, 5 साल का फीस, ये पूरा मिलके आ रहे 1.5-2 कोटी, काफ़ी दिक्कत हो जाएंगे. Then he came back and said, sir, मेरा बच्ची बोल रही है अभी, she wants to do medicine. तो MBBS नहीं कर सकते, मुझे BDS करवा दो. But the father came back and he took a payment seat, BDS. मैं पूछा यार क्या सोच रहे, तुम क्या करने चाहते हैं? Just to provoke, just to tell him, tell me after 6 years what is your thought? नहीं सर, बच्चे को पढ़ने देंगे, वो प्रैक्टिस करने देंगे सर. यार फिर लड़का का क्या करेंगे तुम? लड़का को भी डॉक्टर ढूंढना पड़ेगा तुमको. सर कुछ दिक्कत नहीं है, मेरा बच्चे को प्रैक्टिस करने देंगे, फिर बाद में देखते हैं. यार तो ऐसा मत सोचो, पढ़ाई करके तुम वापस BDS करके तुम सिर्फ हाउसवाइफ रहने के लिए मत भेजना. But he took a strong decision and all his family members supported his decision. A girl getting on merit and then a family taking a decision is something else. The father was ready to spend. Traditionally we consider a Muslim family to be conservative in nature. We consider a Muslim family not to allow the girl in the family to have their own way of living. The own way of living, I don't speak about the liberty, but I would like to address the freedom in deciding what the girl should study. So this thought process has already started proliferating. This is a good thing and this should sustain. This is what insufficient funding, when I was going through insufficient funding, it's at the national level, fine, for the sake of avoiding confusion, I'm not touching it. The total 4.7% of the budget is being allocated for women-centric schemes. So we still have scope at the national level where our priority can go towards women-centric schemes. Next is enforcement of laws. We have various laws in place. The Domestic Violence Act, Dowry, the Anti-Dowry Act, and other provisions in the erstwhile IPC and the latest BNS. I will be touching on the BNS in the next slide, the subsequent slides, where you have various laws that has been enacted to support the female gender. But a stark reality is not all the violences get reflected, not all violences get reported to the police station, not all violences are booked, investigated and subsequently charge sheeted. The last thing is the educational disparity. In vague we have touched in the previous slides, but I'll try to share some statistics with you. The female literacy lags behind male literacy by 14.4%, with only 70.3% of women are literate compared to 84.7% of men educated. Next slide. These are the various initiatives: Beti Bachao, Mahila Shakti Kendra, National Crash Scheme, Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, Saki One Stop Center, Nirbhaya, so on and so forth. So many of you would have read in the papers what these schemes are all about. The Beti Bachao, it ensures protection, survival and education of the girl child. Mahila Shakti Kendra aims at empowering rural women through skill development and employment opportunities. The National Crash Scheme offers safe environments for children to pursue their employment. The Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, these are the maternity benefits to pregnant and lactating women. The Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, it economically empowers girl through separate bank account, gender budget. It entails fund allocation towards program schemes dedicated to women. The Nirbhaya, after the 2012 the Delhi incident, where we say that women should be fearless. The Nirbhaya schemes, it ensures funding for the safety and dignity of women in India. The government has been pumping lots of money, especially for the security forces, to ensure that the women safety is taken of highest priority. We have the mechanisms in place to contribute towards women's safety. The Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, a flagship mission of the Government of India, where the Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry are allocating houses in the name of women, especially for the economic weaker sections, the low income category and middle income categories. Next slide. BNS सब जानते हैं. So since 1860 we had Indian Penal Code in place. So last June it was overhauled by Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. So many of the archaic provisions of the penal code which are not relevant have been removed, and the existing relevant acts have been properly laid down in these provisions. It has contributed to bring about a sense of gender equality. The newly added provisions has made sexual offences gender neutral. The previous act, IPC, says men are always aggressors and women to be always victims. So BNS treats all gender equally. We have come out with gender neutral terms. Gender specific words are replaced with neutral terms. The wife is replaced by saying person's spouse. The person can be a male or a female. The spouse is always the opposite component of the person. In a sexual assault, any men, that was the one that was mentioned in sexual assault in IPC, that is replaced by the term whoever. Minor girl is replaced by child under, mentioning child under the age of 18. So these are certain thought process, change in thought processes, saying that women are always victims. वो हटाने के लिए these sort of gender neutral terms have been introduced. The perpetrator of a crime was always considered to be a dominant male with money and muscle power. That has been replaced. All gender are equally liable for the crime committed. There is no different punishment for men and there are no different punishments for women. So these are the schemes rolled out by Maharashtra government. I have not put Ladki Behan Yojana. You are aware of Ladki Behan Yojana and you have read a lot about these schemes. So these are the various schemes that have been rolled out for the welfare of women. For the sake of reducing the time, I am going to the next slide. What are the solutions for bringing about or reducing gender inequality in India? The gender sensitization programs which we spoke about in the last slide. These initiatives are necessary for changing the societal attitudes. It can be done through education and bringing about a social awareness campaign. In the past, in the last 15-20 years, various campaigns, various schemes have been rolled out by the government. If you remember that in the gender inequality index in the last 10 years, we have improved our position by 13. These schemes have played a major role in improving the position in the last few years. The comprehensive legal reforms. The comprehensive legal reforms are the change in the legal enactments which we are spoken. Equal pay legislation. There is a equal pay legislation that has been introduced and at many places it is being advocated. In India, women earn approximately 20 to 30% less than the men for the same work. So the government should bring about laws where men are equally paid. My colleague, a lady officer, receives the same pay. This pay parity is existing at a higher level, but especially in the unorganized sectors, we don't have a pay parity. This is what we intend to by this point. Encouraging female participation in STEM. STEM जानते हैं? मैडम ने मुझे 10 बजे टाइम दिया, शायद आप लोगों को जल्दी टाइम दे दिया लग रहा है. सब लोग थक गया है. You know what is STEM? What STEM means? मैं पहले वो स्लाइड दिखाया था ना, पिंक, blue color, where boys should take certain jobs, girls should take different jobs. STEM मतलब science, technology, engineering, mathematics. ये फील्ड में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा महिला आना चाहिए. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा महिला आने की वजह से वो टॉप पिक्चर देख रहे हैं, इसरो का साइंटिस्ट कौन मंगलयान को ऊपर, मंगलयान तक हमारा मशीन को पहुंचाया, रोवर, नॉट रोवर, व्हाट इज मंगलयान मशीन, मंगलयान का हमारा रॉकेट ने लेके जाके उधर एक डिवाइस छोड़ा है ना मंगलयान, दैट इज मंगलयान. This is a team which put Mangalyaan into orbit and dropped the robot on the surface of Mars. In 2021, 30% of India's STEM graduates are women. Of the total science, technology, engineering, mathematics graduates, only 30% are women. So most of the women are preferring arts and commerce courses. So आप कॉलेज में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा IT लेना चाहिए. The next is improved access to women for healthcare. पहले पॉइंट में टच किया ना, maternal mortality, female mortality, anemic diseases, इसके लिए महिला को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा health accessibility देना चाहिए. Be it in their adolescent or be it at their senior age. Next important issue is freelancing. Freelancing platform क्या है, समझ में आ रहा है आपको? पहले ही बात किया था, lots of women are into household sectors, ज्यादा मेहनत करते हैं. Woman knows how to manage a house better, and she is a repository of some of the unique recipes. अभी सोशल मीडिया में काफ़ी YouTube चैनल्स, Instagram चैनल्स सब आ रहे हैं, which is monetized. आपको दिखते हैं, सब लोग पीछे पड़ा है, व्यूअरशिप बढ़ाना है, व्यूअरशिप बढ़ाना में पैसा भी ज़्यादा मिलते हैं. You get lots of money from those platforms. So only if you are unique, only if you have more and more of viewership, आपका earning ज़्यादा हो सकते हैं. What I mean from freelancing is, organized sector में women जाने के लिए तैयार नहीं है, because for them the highest priority is the family, but they have lots of time left with them. ये freelancing लेने से they can be economically independent. Why economics का बात कर रहे हैं? If somebody has money, they can decide how this money is to be invested. ऐसा नहीं है कोई भी पैसा आ गया तो तुरंत जाकर कोई उड़ा देंगे. But still, they know the priority sectors. They know where to put the children. How much standard of education बच्चे के लिए देना है. पैसा नहीं है, इसके लिए we are not able to give higher standard of education. We are not able to send the children out. Father has different priorities. But when the women have access to resources, they can think about how to judiciously use these available resources for the betterment of the family. The family improves, the society improves, the society improves, the nation improves. Support for unpaid care work. Last slide, last point in this slide. There is a need to recognize value of unpaid care work performed by women and promote shared responsibilities. Shared responsibilities हमारे देश में कम है. Otherwise Sunday I would have had better responsibilities at home. मैं आज आके इधर I am doing something else. So shared responsibilities, both women and men of the same household should share their household responsibilities. Foreign countries में ज़्यादा है, especially when our officers, my colleagues go on a foreign deputation, foreign assignment. उधर household के लिए staff मिलना काफ़ी costly है. So I hear from my colleague officers. So one would prepare a food, the other is supposed to wash the utensils. One is the machine will wash the clothes. One of the member have to take out, iron it, and properly arrange it. One has to drop the child. One has to ensure the child does its homework. ऐसा job division रहता है. So these are all forced because household labor is costly. In our country, household labor is cheap. We get easy maid, easy servant for a lesser price. So we don't think about sharing the responsibilities. So once this concept gets popularized, so थोड़ा सा दिक्कत होने वाला है व्हाइट शर्ट पहनने में. Empowering women in utilizing all its sectors. We should not resist only to certain sectors. We should see to it women participation is seen in all the sectors irrespective. As I said, as and when we are becoming mechanized, as and when we are becoming more into AI related tools, anybody irrespective of being a woman or man, they can equally contribute for success in any of these sectors. Success stories. Reservation for women in parliament, that is still debated. The parliament couldn't enact its laws, but there is reservation for women in the Panchayat Raj. There are lots of rural areas which has been reserved for women, and there are success stories where women have been elected. I am not speaking about pseudo leadership. महिला को elect कर लेते हैं और घर का आदमी he goes and runs the show. उसका बारे में बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. There are places where women are elected and women are running the panchayat. Those panchayats are considered to be extremely successful. There are various stories which we have read. There are in Rajasthan, for example, women have made remarkable strides in local governance, with a number of female sarpanchas have been elected. In the last election, there are 60% of women, 60% of the sarpanchas are women in Rajasthan, which is unusual. This election, this reservation has led to enhanced community development and better resource management. What the future outlook should be? Support of women focused policies along with skill building initiatives will likely ensure a deeper integration of women into leadership and decision making. The rise in female entrepreneurship is expected to bolster the economic growth of women's business at the rate of 18% annually. More and women participate in entrepreneurial enterprises, हमारा देश का economy बढ़ते रहेंगे, because the amount of work women contribute is not captured, is going as invisible. अभी आ रहे हैं, इसमें youth का role क्या है? India is one of the successful living ancient civilizations of the world. One of the world civilization of सोचेंगे Aztec civilization. There is no evidence except for that Machu Picchu, that structure that is existing in that country. Egyptian civilization, again it is restricted only to the pyramids. The Mesopotamian civilization, completely gone. The river bed on which the civilization started is almost drying. The Chinese civilization, the Chinese have always maintained secrecy, not much about the civilization has come out. The next one is the Indus and the Gangetic Plain civilization, which is restricted to the geographical parts of our country and our neighbor. So India has a continuous history of 2000 years recorded and another 2000 years unrecorded. This 4000 years of history speaks volumes about our existence. When all the civilization has collapsed or maybe has remained only in books, India is one of the successful civilizations which is living through its people, which is living through its documents. India is living only because of the vibrant youth population. The other civilization, the population has become skewed. Skewed in the sense, the excess of weightage towards the senior citizen. वो एक main कारण है. Our population, the present youth population is 35%. 35% of the young population. This has remained almost between 25 to 35 for the last decades, last few decades, and presently we are 35%. So no doubt maybe for the next 20-25 years we will linger around this number. This number is important for the future growth of the country. आपने कोई भी टाइप का संघर्ष सोचा है, संघर्ष doesn't happen at the senior level. So the last संघर्ष आपने अभी सोचा होगा, what happened in Delhi against this Nirbhaya movement. More and more participation was seen from youth, where we have taken lots of actions. उसका पहला संघर्ष आपको जाना है. Think about our freedom struggle. Freedom struggle, what the English were really worried was the more and more young blood can divert the energy to any direction, be it non-violent way or be it violent way. But the participation of youth in anything that deters everybody. So अभी इतना आपको presentation, पूरा slides, पूरा indices, concepts दिखाया है. It is to carry something in your mind. It is to change your mindset. It is not still believe in male dominance. It should be on equitable participation. What is doable by men is also possible by women. This thought process has to come. That's why we target these sort of initiatives towards the youth. The youth play an important role in improving gender equality, particularly for women, by advocating for change and challenging stereotypes. They can leverage social media to raise awareness about gender issues, promote positive representation of women, and mobilize communities for action. By engaging in discussions, supporting women's rights organizations, and leading initiatives that empower girls and women, young people can drive cultural shifts and influence policy. Their fresh perspective and energy are essential in creating inclusive environments where everyone can thrive, foster a future where gender equality is the norm. The next is the grassroots advocacy program. Youth-led grassroots advocacy program in India are increasingly focusing on gender equality by engaging local communities and raising awareness about women's rights. For example, initiatives like My Choice involve young activists in rural areas to challenge deep-rooted gender biases. According to a 2021 study, 58% of youth-led organizations focus on gender justice at the grassroots level. Campaigns like Me Too India, Gender Equality, कितना फर्क दिखाया है, you have all seen. Next slide. Conclusion में आ गया, last slide है, nothing to worry. मैं भी आधा घंटा बोल के I have spoken a lot, narrated a lot. See, we have various type of reservations that the government has rolled out. Government can create policies, but implementing these policies is a tough challenge because we are a heterogeneous population. हम सब एक मत का नहीं है. हर एक आदमी का विचार अलग है, हर एक का सोसाइटल प्रेशर अलग है, हर एक का अपब्रिंगिंग अलग है. So all can't be put on the same platform. हम पहले आपको एक इंटरनेशनल लेवल का स्लाइड दिखाए ना, पूरा वर्ल्ड का स्लाइड ग्रीन रेड. आप कोई भी डेवलप्ड कंट्री का सोच रहे हैं, दोज कंट्रीज आर होमोजीनियस इन नेचर. सब लोग एक तरीका का लोग है, दे डोंट हैव एनी डिफरेंसेस. बट बिकॉज आवर 4000 years of history, we are heterogeneous in nature. We have different thought processes. सबको एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म में, एक ही एक जार में लगा नहीं सकते हैं. There is limitation. One man's ideal might be a sin for the other. So वो दोनों का बैलेंस करने के लिए हमारा विचार चेंज होना पड़ता है. वो विचार चेंज करना सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट का काम नहीं है. यू हैव डिफरेंट स्टेक होल्डर्स इन प्लेस. Government is one of the stakeholders. You have educational institutions, you have private enterprises, you have the civil society, which is the public. All should come together and we should say, yes, the change is needed. Community initiative and consent can't bring about a change only with the government policies. We are not in an autocracy, we are in a democracy where each and every individual's thought process has to contribute. पहले बताया है, there has been improvement, but this improvement is in a very slow pace. ये ज़्यादा तेज़ी भी नहीं कर सकते because we are 1.3 billion strong. 1.3 billion minds can't be brought together by one signature, by one enactment, by one order. So we are beautiful only because of the diversities. These diversities should minimize. The diversity in mind should minimize. Nothing is less in this country. You have everything available. Whatever be it, geographically we have everything. You have difference in literature. हमारा type का literature का diversity किधर भी नहीं है. हमारा people say for every 60 kilometers you travel there is a diversity that is seen. So the mere geographical extent has contributed lots for this diversity, and this diversity needs to be appreciated. So only with the community initiative and the concern a change can be brought about. To bring about this change, as I said, all the constituents of this society, the government, the civil society, the private institutions, the educational institutions should contribute. Only then we can think about only then we can bring about a change what we are thinking about. The change has to start from within. The change can't be enforced from the top. So we should contribute for the change. And to conclude, so Swami ji ka hi main ahwan hai. So you set a target. You have to rise from your slumber. Arise, awake, and stop not till your goal is reached. And thanks, without much of disturbance, I am able to complete it. I did not practice, I did not know that this will take 1 hour, but it has taken 1 hour, and thanks for all your patient hearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Students, meanwhile, if you have any questions, kindly keep it ready with you. You can just raise your hands, our volunteers will come to help you out. And even guests, if any questions are there, you are most welcome. Okay. slides, he did mention about the woman, and he used his hands to reach out to you, to every individual who is there over here. Sir, as you rightly said, I would like to mention something about you which I reflected from all 6th memorial. You referred as Saraswathy Ammal. That was a great beginning to convene the women, and it showed that for everyone, the mother's heart is the child's first classroom, schoolroom, learning center. That's what I learned from you today at the beginning of your session. And you rightly said about Drishti, which begins from 0 to infinity. That's why we are with this memorial lecture commemorating every National Youth Day. To remember that we begin from 0, but there are infinite possibilities for each one of you here. Whether they are just youth, whether they are in whatever age becomes just a number. And I remember what the great Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir rightly said. I quote, "The ignited mind of the youth is the most powerful resource on the earth, above the earth, under the earth." And my dear students, just don't wait for a leader to tell you. Do it person to person, as sir rightly mentioned when he was concluding, that the change has to come from within. If it comes from within, it will be imparted to somebody else, the next person, then the next person, and the next person. And the ripple effect will create a lasting effect in our history. Thank you so much, sir, for giving that wonderful brief on the theme of this year's National Youth Day. Also coincides with the theme what we had. It says steering India towards a sustainable future, and we took one of the sustainable development goals, especially leading the youth towards understanding of gender equality. Can we have questions, please?
Namaskaram, sir. My name is Radhakrishnan. My question is, what kind of skills and values do you think are most important for youth to develop for futuristic leadership skills?
मैं पहले आपको बोला था, we don't need a homogeneous society. A society can't be only of doctors. You need patients also. If all are doctors, there is somebody needed to put the syringe. You need sisters. Doctor can't function in an open space. He needs a closed space. To construct a closed space, you need an engineer. Engineer can only plan. He can't construct. So you need people to construct. To construct, you need raw materials, which the construction person can't make. So it all depends what you think a skill. We don't have, I remember Carl Lewis. Carl Lewis जानते हैं आप?
सर नाम सुना
है। मैं आपका एज में था. This is 1988 Olympics in Seoul. 1988 Olympics 100 meters. Ben Johnson नाम का Canadian. He won with a margin of 9.84 some seconds. That was a world record. तब कार्ल लुइस अमेरिकन स्प्रिंटर, he was second. उसका पहले 84 ओलंपिक्स में he had one medal. But बेन जॉनसन को डिस्क्वालीफाई किया गया for using drugs. So that medal was stripped from him and कार्ल लुइस को दिया गया. So that was a time when Carl Lewis was a series of gold medals, 7-8 gold जीता है Olympics में. He is a son of a sweeper. झाड़ू को मारने वाला का लड़का है, बच्चा है. So somebody asked Hon'ble को, how did you achieve it? You have won so many medals. Then he said, his father advised him, "Beta, you do whatever you want. Don't think that you have to be so. I can say with pride, I am the best sweeper. I do whatever work is given to me, I do the best. So I can say with pride, I am the best sweeper." So even that is a skill. So skill, values, you can't say that these are the best skills or these are the best values. You need everything in life which is going to make you comfortable. These are the skills. You need everything in life that will make you stable. These are the values. So better job than disciplined raho, hardworking raho. These are not the only values. There are very many values. So every day is a learning, as I said before I started. So every day you have to acquire a skill and every day you have to acquire values.
सर वो एक क्वेश्चन था, जैसे आप
बस एक ही है, दूसरा बंदे को देना है.
सर थैंक यू सर.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, my question is that how technology and social media can be used effectively by the youth to promote social changes and empowerment?
How technology and social media can be used by you to bring about a change? You broadcast only good things. You broadcast good values. See, social media has risen with the use of technology, time and space has shrunk. There was a time, एक जगह में क्या हो रहा है, वो दूसरा जगह पहुंचने के लिए minimum 24 hours wait करना पड़ता है. What I am telling is, the next day newspaper. This got reduced by television. This got further shrunk by satellite network. अभी क्या है? Everybody is having a broadcasting device in your own hand. So this broadcast device can be used for better things. Better things in the sense to spread better values. दूसरा का इंसान पहुंचने के लिए don't use this platform. Use this platform for spreading better values, better ideas, for spreading good thoughts. But अजीब से क्या है? So much of crimes are happening over this platform. जितना हमारा physical crime होता है, उतना ही ज़्यादा cyber crime भी हो रहे हैं. So this is because of misuse of the available technology. So हर एक बंदा को पता है, एक बार विचार करिए, what is good, what you are doing is good or bad. वो distinction करने का तरीका हर एक individual का है. इसके लिए education दे रहे हैं to distinguish between good and bad. So use all these platforms to do only good things. सब ठीक हो जाएंगे.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? The last question.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Adhira Sudhir. My question is, how can education play a role in developing gender stereotypes and promoting equality from young age?
Promoting equality from?
Young age.
Equality from young age.
Yes.
So it all starts with the family. Family, when there are two different gender in the family, first we should decide attraction for getting a male child should not be a criteria. हर एक परिवार में अभी भी बोलते हैं ना, नहीं लड़का चाहिए. क्यों लड़का चाहिए? नहीं, बाद में हमारा सब का कमाई वही घर में रहेंगे, दूसरा का घर में जाने का जरूरत नहीं है. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, बुढ़ा होने के बाद देखभाल करेंगे. The boy will take care of the family, which may not be true. 2016 after Justice Verma Commission given, it is said that even girls are vested with the responsibility of taking care of their parents. So these sort of mindset in the parents that boy is most preferred. Second is safety concerns. पहले बताया था ना, we have legislations in place, but each and every member of the society should ensure that a safe atmosphere is given to the fairer sex. Catcalling नहीं होना चाहिए, hooting नहीं होना चाहिए, किसी का bad comments देना नहीं चाहिए. We should not deter the spirit of women working. कोई भी आके अच्छा बात करने वाला तो we should not publicize with a different intention. एक ही जगह में काम करने के टाइम में we should not cast aspersions. We should not indulge in character assassination. These sort of behavior गलत है पहले से सोचना चाहिए. कोई आपको बचपन में सिखाया है क्या खून करना गलत है? People say don't steal, but I have not seen people saying don't murder. Nobody thought you murdering is wrong, but still you have a thought process. So these are the things हम बड़े चीज के बारे में ध्यान देते हैं. We should focus even on small things. We should focus on small things to say that बचपन में बोलते ना boys don't cry. No, we should not be हमारा भी the gland is mentioned to weep only. The gland has a different purpose. Being emotional is not wrong. Anybody can be emotional. But these sort of stereotypism, these are the do's and don'ts based on the gender, वो करना नहीं चाहिए. These starts from the family, then comes to school. School में टीचर बताते हैं नहीं अच्छा से नाचने वाला गर्ल्स उठो, खूबसूरत दिखने वाला गर्ल्स उठो. We need somebody to take carry the flowers to the stage. Why can't boys take the flowers on the stage? Why should always the girls take the flowers on the stage? ये छोटा छोटा विषय है. These things come from the school. Their workplaces. Workplaces, why should always a manager be a male? Why can't a female be a manager? So top एक सर्वे था, top MNCs का सर्वे करने के टाइम में they said that only 5% of the top MNCs are occupied by women. If Indira Gandhi can be CEO of Pepsi, even other companies can have CEO. So the competition should be transparent. The gender should not be a hindrance to achieve the highest seat. तीनों बोल दिया जी, फैमिली बोल दिया, स्कूल बोल दिया, काम भी बोल दिया.
Thank you, sir.
One last question from Jayakumar sir, who is the former deputy of Municipal Commissioner. His question is, biological change is God's creation. 100% equality cannot be possible. What's your comment, sir?
सर आपका एक्सपीरियंस मेरे एज होगा. चलिए. बट बायोलॉजिकल चेंज नहीं है. बायोलॉजिकल XY क्रोमोसोम. XY क्रोमोसोम, why should it deter equality? Why should homogeneous chromosome should live? बायोलॉजी में उल्टा पता है साहब, मैं किधर भी पढ़ा था. X chromosomes are dominant. More and more homogeneous chromosomes ही possible है. Heterogeneous chromosomes are rare. So equality is possible. Equality is not in biology. Equality is the thought process. But धीरे धीरे हम ये thought process खत्म कर रहे हैं. मैं जानबूझ के I did not go into the queer group. There is a different trend coming up. All the developed countries have gone इतना तेजी से आगे बढ़ गया है. So sexual distinction based on chromosomes is different. Sexual preferences के ऊपर जाने लगा है. There is a controversial topic. So my understanding is it is only the mindset that equality is not possible. Equality is possible, but we need to have lots of support system in place. We need to have lots of affirmative actions in place. We need to accept the biological differences.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. ठीक है, एक क्वेश्चन तुम्हारे में आंसर कर देता हूँ यार, बोलो. subject will be mine. Okay. Yeah.
सर मेरा ये क्वेश्चन था सर, आप इतने बड़े पोस्ट हो तो डेली आप पे कोई ना कोई न्यूज आते रहते हैं, वो डेली कोई ना कोई प्रेशर होगा आपके ऊपर या सोसाइटी एक्सटर्नल इंटरनल प्रेशर, तो आप ये प्रेशर को कैसे डील करते हैं, हैंडल करते हैं?
प्रेशर को किस तरीके से डील कर रहा हूँ, हैंडल कर रहा हूँ?
ये सर
आपके सामने खड़ा हूँ, मेरा लोग 60,000 लोग परीक्षा दे रहे हैं, फिर आपके सामने हाजिर हूँ, 1 घंटे आपसे बात किया, फोन नहीं उठाया, 15 कॉल था, फिर बाद में बात करके आ गया। इट्स ओनली माइंडसेट, कुछ दिक्कत नहीं।
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
भाई कोई भी पर्सन एब्सोल्यूट नहीं है, आप कितना के ऊपर पहुंचे आपको ऊपर एक रहने ही वाला है, सो प्रेशर रहने ही वाला है।
सर मेरे पास इतने सारे लोग लगेगा तो मेरे भी प्रेशर होता है, तो क्या जैसे आपने बोला आप लोग बहुत सारे लोग हैं और आप ये सेशन को कंक्लूड कर पा रहे हैं, बट मेरे पास तो इतने सारे लोग नहीं है, तो मैं प्रेशर को कैसे हैंडल करूँ?
तुम्हारे साथ इतने साथ किधर है? प्रेशर तुमको अकेले हैंडल करना है, दूसरा कोई आके तुम्हारा वजह से हैंडल नहीं करेंगे।
यस सर।
यू हैव टू हैंडल इंडिविजुअली ओनली। आई डिडंट से दैट मेरे पीछे इतने लोग हैंडल कर रहे हैं, मैं बोल रहा था आज मुझे इतने लोगों का काम संभालना था, काम के अलावा मैं आपको पूरा क्वेश्चंस लिया, 1 घंटे सेशन दिया, इतना बीच में काफी कॉल्स आ चुका है, मैं पीछे जाके पूरा कॉल आंसर करके वापस आ गया हूँ। सो इट इज ओनली अगेन अ माइंडसेट, कितना आप लेना चाहते हैं और कितना डिलीवर करना चाहते हैं।
श्योर सर, थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir. We now invite the CEO of Akshaya Shakti, Dr. Narayan Iyer, sir, our alumni, to present a memento to our chief guest. In collaboration with Akshaya Shakti has taken initiative for skill development program, the first initiative being Akshaya Dhaka under Vivek Skill Development Center. There are many such initiatives in the pipeline. A big round of applause, students. I would request our members of the management to kindly join the felicitation. Thank you so much, sir. Now we move on to the presentation of the Excellence Award. It's a time to celebrate, it's a time to acknowledge, thundering applause every time when I call out a student's name. We begin with Bharti Anita Ramesh Sumitra for securing the highest score in BCom examination for the academic year 23-24. As a mark of respect for all the hard work and the dedication, for the perseverance and even the support of the family, we are bringing a big round of applause to the student. Pandey Krishna Basant Anita for securing the highest score amongst all self-financing undergraduate and the postgraduate program examination for the academic year 23-24. We continue. There are 7 candidates and we continue the thundering applause. Iyer Tanisha Sridhar for securing the highest percentage in the HSC examination art stream for the academic year 23-24. For securing the highest percentage in the HSC examination science stream for the academic year 23-24. Krishna Pandey for securing the highest percentage in the HSC examination commerce stream for the academic year 23-24.
topper for the academic year 23-24, I invite the father to kindly come and take the award. Jagdish Bhai for being the Sanskrit language topper for the academic year 23-24. Mata Pita Guru Devam. We have got the father who is coming to receive the award. Big round of applause, students. Such a great achievement for the father to receive the award for the daughter. Thank you so much, dignitaries. We've come to the concluding moments of our 6th annual Srimati A.A. Saraswathy Memorial Lecture, our flagship program. All virtues have their origin in gratitude. Be thankful for what we have and it multiplies in abundance. First and foremost, I would like to express our heartfelt thanks to our chief guest, Shri S. Jayakumar sir, for gracing this event for this insightful perspective. There is a shloka, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. When the whole world is felt like a family, our consciousness rises. There is no discrimination. There is always an equality. The cultural shift in our consciousness is what Sir is talking about, and he's been presenting in the entire presentation. So thank you so much for giving your precious time, giving and coming to our institution and giving us a presentation. I extend my gratitude to our guest of honor, Radhakrishnan sir, and the family members for instituting the concept of the memorial lecture. I fondly remember the presence of Justice Radhakrishnan sir, his wishes, his blessings and his grace always and always with our institution. I extend my warmest thanks to the esteemed guests, principals of various colleges and schools across Mumbai, representatives from various NGOs, our alumni members of sister institution, our academic and non-academic partners, special guests for your presence, time and unwavering support. We are deeply grateful to each one of you. We have had an overwhelming response from our well-wishers due to the paucity of time and the guest list being huge. I'm unable to take the names of each and every one on behalf of the institution, but our humble thanks to each one of you. My sincere thanks to the management members of Vivek Education Society for their guidance and wholehearted support always and at all times. I extend my thanks to the Bengali decorator, canteen services, sound system service provider, security service provider. A heartfelt thanks to each one of you from our teaching and non-teaching staff members, our student volunteers and support staff who have worked tirelessly behind the scene to ensure the smooth running of every aspect of this program. As we conclude this event, let us carry forward the knowledge, the insights and the connections we have gained today, and we look forward to further collaborations and continued engagement. And everything happens by His will. So let's thank the day as a gift from the Providence, and we look forward to welcoming you again for our next memorial lecture. Thanks to each one of you. Before we finally conclude, there are a few announcements. All the prize winners are requested after the event, after the guests leave the aisle, to come backstage. There are a few other announcements. Let us not all rise for the national anthem.
शुभ नामे
students kindly be seated. All the students are requested to kindly be seated. For our chief guest, Shri S. Jayakumar sir.
Thank you.
All the students are requested to kindly be seated. The QR code for the feedback form is there displayed. You can scan and fill the feedback form. There is an announcement for outside students and faculty who have come from the neighboring institutions to kindly collect their certificates from the registration desks. The students will leave the aisle from the last row. From the last row, I request the NSS volunteers to kindly guide